Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. Everything's bigger in Texas. That's what they say. Bigger hats, bigger cattle, bigger seats, bigger sweets. And this great big speedway where it's time for qualifying. Part of Fast Friday presented by K&N. Qualifying for the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series is the order of the day. But first, inspection.
Hello. Room of doom.
Traffic jam, it looks like, too.
Trouble.
Well, just traffic.
Claw your way out of there.
Dallas does have plenty of traffic. It is a beautiful day in Texas. All the bad weather's moved way off to the east, and it hit 80 here today. Winds out of the southeast, and we are ready to go. Now, after 2.5 hours of practice, it was, to get all these cars ready and everybody adapted to the new racetrack with a new turn 1 and 2 and new pavement all the way around. Jeff had a chance to drive the track since practice.
I did, and the only thing we haven't talked about being big here in Texas is the big changes that have happened here at Texas Motor Speedway. I did get a chance to go around in the pace car. Incredibly smooth. We were watching and you could see the cars moving around. That's how stiffly sprung and how aggressive those teams are getting. A lot of grip in the groove. Very slick outside the groove. Turns 3 and 4, really, really fast right on the bottom. But boy, 1 and 2, it is slick outside the groove, as I mentioned. Really flat entry into there. So teams are having to tiptoe. Drivers having to be real careful how they turn the wheel to get down in through that transition into turns 1 and 2. Big and wide down there. And this is what happens if you just get outside that groove.
Not quite wide enough. Nope. For either Eric Jones or for Chase Elliott. So 4 spins, 2 backup cars, and you saw the back and forth after whether or not Kyle Busch would go to a backup car or keep the primary car, which he said had a lot of speed in it.
Yeah, you could tell when they were looking at the car that, and Adam Stevens said we're going to go to the backup. You could tell Kyle didn't like that idea. He said, man, that's a fast car right there. So they decided to fix it, which I thought was the right thing to do. But then they threw Kyle on the stretcher and took him to the infield care center to be sure he was okay.
Well, that's mandatory. You know, that is a rule.
That
when you
is
have
a
an
rule,
incident,
but
you go get checked out.
He didn't like that either.
So while we go get checked out, cars will continue to roll through inspection as we get ready for pole position qualifying. 13 cars are on the line for qualifying. That means 27 cars are still working their way through inspection. Here are the ones that have onboard cameras going through, trying to make sure that everything is right so we can go qualify. Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, we've talked so much about the difference in the racetrack from last year. We've talked about the Goodyear tire, but I think something we've not spoke about in several weeks is the aero package we're racing this year versus last year from 16 to 17. Starts with the rear spoiler. A year ago, 61 inches wide, 3.5 inches tall. This year, same angle, same width, but we've took 1 1/8 inches off the top. A lot less rear downforce. To keep the car balanced, though, they went to the front of the car with the front splitter. Last year on the corners, it was 5 inches in depth. Still a 1/4 inch exposed, but they went from 5 inches down to 2 inches. That takes front downforce away. Overall, it's about 500 to 600 pounds less downforce than last year. I think that also is playing a role in these cars being a little edgy.
Thanks, Larry. A lot that's new here in Texas, and a lot of a line back there in inspection. Remember, the new procedure this year is that if you fail one inspection station, you start over and go back through the entire process once again before your car is cleared. Well, in practice, the young guns really showed a lot of speed. Here's Matt Yoakum.
A big fan of that package that Larry Mack was talking about for 2017 is Kyle Larson. So you worked through the car being edgy in practice, expecting it to be the same, though, in qualifying?
We were edgy when the track was green. Once it took rubber, I got tight fast. So we got to make one qualifying run and was in a little bit of traffic and still ran a decent lap. So I don't really know what to expect here in qualifying. I'm sure the track's changed quite a bit during Xfinity practice, but our Credit One Bank Chevy's had some speed in it so far today. So hopefully we can continue to have the speed in our race cars here on these Mount Ask, can qualify good again, and have a good race on Sunday.
He was P6 in practice. Vince?
With Erik Jones as his car just rolls by us, heading through Tech one more time. Of course, Erik very fast in that initial practice today here on the Cup side, but had the accident late, had the team switch to the backup. You're getting ready to run on what a lot of guys have called a treacherous track, sketchy, some of the words being used, and you're going to get in that car and qualify for the first time today, first laps on that car. What's going through your mind as you prepare for that?
Well, you know, I'm not so much concerned about how the car is going to drive. I'm pretty confident that we can replicate what the last car had, and the cars are so close these days. You know, I think I feel pretty good about it. So the 5-hour energy camera had a lot of speed in the first practice, and I thought the track was just a little bit faster than what the car could handle at that point. Unfortunately, we had to go to the backup. It's the first time this year, so we'll work hard here in qualifying. Hopefully, have a good effort, and get us to a good starting spot, get us a good pit stall, and work towards the rest of the weekend.
And guys, I saw crew chief Chris Gale just a moment ago. Certainly didn't seem to be too concerned. Big smile on his face. Said everything has gone smoothly as they've transitioned to the backup and had to put a different motor in that backup car as well.
Thanks, Vince. Let's show you why Erik Jones is in a backup. He is coming to green to start a run.
Yeah, he had talked about trying to run wide open through 3 and 4 to carry as much speed to the start-finish line to start that lap. Unfortunately, the tires and the car just couldn't quite handle it.
But the good news is, Mike, it's one thing I like about this qualifying procedure. You've got 20 minutes, so if Erik goes out in his car, he doesn't have to go out and try to put up the fast lap the first time he hits the racetrack. Maybe he can want to go back out a second time and pick up some speed.
Yeah, we thought during practice that there's a good chance that as qualifying goes on, the speeds could increase all the way to the final round. Here's Matt.
And one driver pulling double duty this weekend. So how impactful, oh, we got to back up, don't want to get hit by your own car.
Yeah.
How
Tech
impactful?
experience right now is rough for everybody, but we got through, so we're getting ready to go qualify.
How impactful, though, running Xfinity and Cup this weekend with all the new nuances of Texas?
Well, you get to try a couple different things, but I tell you, the line's pretty tight. You can't try a whole lot. You can't move around a lot, but I was able to watch the rubber get a little bit wider as we ran right there and feel more comfortable with the movement of the car, so that's big. I think it's huge.
Thanks, Austin.
So 2 drivers are in backup cars, Erik Jones and Chase Elliott from his spin and hard impact with the inside wall. Kyle Busch's team is repairing his car after he bumped the wall with the right rear. And the question will be whether we see all of those cars out here for qualifying this afternoon or not. Let's check with Vince.
With Aric Almirola waiting on his car to roll through as well. You know, we talked with you during practice, and you talked about one of the biggest struggles you were going to have today was the wrist injury, and I see you don't have the brace on the wrist, so update us on how that's feeling.
I took some ibuprofen, and I'm just going to grit and bear it. The brace is just too difficult to maneuver in the car and hold the steering wheel and stuff, so I'll just deal with it. But I hope I get to drive my car. We've got a lot of cars back here in Tech. Ours had to go through for a second time. It looks like a lot of them do. So I hope we get to qualify our Smithfield Ford Fusion.
He tripped over his daughter's scooter in the garage, and you thought racing was dangerous, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do a lot of dangerous stuff on a regular basis, and to have something like that happen is pretty silly. But I wish I could tell you, like, man, you should have seen the other guy, but no.
I mean, he's had 3 hours to think of a better story, yeah. But nope. Hey, there's Owen playing with Dad, Kyle Larson, as we get ready to qualify. 16 cars are on the line, and that means 24 are in that line in the garage area, still going through inspection as round 1 begins at this multi-purpose facility. Off the backstretch, there's a dirt half-mile, winged sprint cars there tonight. There's a 5th mile where the legend cars are running their battle of the big top. As let's see who's going to roll out for qualifying first. Let's check with Matt Yoakum.
Mike, a lot of cars back here in inspection area. The 1 of McMurray, the 88 of Dale Earnhardt Jr., and also the 18 of Kyle Busch. A lot of discussion today during practice after he got into the fence that he was going to be going to a backup car. But Adam Stevens, as well as Todd Berrier, and Todd really helps as far as the aero and the bodies at JGR. He came over, looked at it. His staff worked on the back of this 18 machine, used Porter Powers, pushed out, beat out a lot of Bondo on that right rear corner. They didn't replace any of the sheet metal that was on it originally. just some Bondo. They'll put some vinyl on that later, but this car's ready to go if they can make it through inspection. He's on his second trip right now.
I like the way, that's an incredible job of repairing that right rear quarter panel.
Yep. Brad Keselowski is looking for his car.
Yeah, he doesn't
boys?
want to know where it's at. He's at the back of the line.
Hey, boys, have you seen my car?
Now I like the beer tap on that shot.
Yeah.
Let's explain what that's for. There is an opening at the base of the windshield. That's where the engine takes in the air that goes into the engine, mixes with gasoline, runs the car. But there's a plate over that to cover it. And it used to be you could leave the plate on, somebody could go out and try to qualify, and the engine would starve for air. So every team has something creative to go on there so that they will know that that cowl cover is still in place.
No, that's not what that's for, Mike.
I'm sorry?
It's National Beard Day.
Oh, it's that. That's what it's for.
But Mike, part of their appeal of the two car was because when they failed the LIS, they only got to go through there one time. And they felt like they should have been given an opportunity to correct whatever the problem was and go through again, and they weren't given that opportunity. That's part of their appeal.
Oh.
So I don't know what they're doing today, but hopefully they'll get to go through more than one time.
Okay, Vince.
Well, special race for Chris Buescher. Well, they're all special, but especially when you're in your home of Texas, home state of Texas. But right now, trying to be patient as you wait for your car to come through Texas. Visited with crew chief Trent Owens a moment ago. What's it like for you as you wait, knowing you're going to just have to jump into the car and maybe make a last moment run?
It's aggravating. You know, we went out there in practice and we had a really good Scout product Chevrolet. Constantly being able to put a lap up, and we know we can go out here and lay down a good lap. I think the track's it looked good in the Xfinity practice there, and it looked like everybody had it under control. So just hoping we can get through this line, and think us and a ton of others are hoping the same thing. So it's frustrating.
Chris Buescher was third quickest in practice earlier today.
Thanks, Vince. We have a taker, Greg Galding, the rookie from Colonial Heights, Virginia. And the Dr. Pepper, number 23, the 19-year-old.
Mike, this is like practice.
On the clock.
You go. No, you go. No, I think I'll wait till someone else goes. You let him go.
Well, let's remember back to Atlanta, we saw something similar to this at the start of qualifying, where not all 24 cars that could transfer through to round 2 were on pit road. But by the end of that 20-minute round, we did get more cars on there, and the business started heating up. So anxious to see. There's certainly a lot of cars that I don't think are going to get to make a lap of qualifying here today.
Okay, Matt.
And I've caught up with Brad Keselowski. Your car near the end of the line. At least if you ever wanted to be in a club, there's a lot of members in it today.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that make it through the first round of qualifying that you don't normally see up there, because I'd say half the garage is in the garage still and trying to get through tech. And I don't see any way that we and probably about 20 others are going to get through tech with the line moving so slow. So it's unfortunate, but I can tell you it's going to be a crazy race either way, and we have a really fast Miller Lite Ford, so we'll worry about that Sunday.
Thanks, Brad. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. Now, Greg Galding went out there and ran a 28.88, and that was about half a second faster than he practiced. Denny Hamlin just completed a lap, 28.44 in practice, 28.13, a pickup of almost 0.3 for Hamlin.
Yeah, and that's a guy that spun out, right off in practice. So pretty nice recovery for that 11 team. 28.13, not too bad. I think we'll see cars, if all the fast cars get out there, get down into 27s, probably somewhere mid 27s, my guess.
If there were 24 or 40 cars out there, or 39, however many we have here this weekend at Texas, yeah, then it would push the limits of that. When we get to the final round, they're definitely going to step things up, and we're going to see just how fast these cars can go. As I was watching Joey Logano right there, he almost got out of the groove coming off of turn 4, just coming to the green.
200 miles an hour into turn 1 for Logano. We will see higher speeds, we believe, going off into turn 3. That end of the racetrack is still configured with a 24-degree banking as it was.
A little shorter straightaway back there, yeah.
So when I was out in the pace car earlier, turns 3 and 4 haven't really changed. Tremendous amount of banking and speed and grip through there. They're going to carry a lot of speed into turn 1. They just got to check up pretty early before they get to the corner.
So Joey Logano, 28.12 in practice, 28.16 now. Here is Kurt Busch.
Mike, the track does seem to be a little forgiving. It was not forgiving at all early on. If you got up out of the bottom of the groove, out of where the cars have been running, you were going to spin out or hit something. It does seem to have a little margin for error now. Not a lot, but more than it did have.
Anxious to know as well, there were some drivers that, a little wiggle out of Kurt Busch there, that have, we're making laps in the Xfinity practice just prior to this. I would think that'd give them a little bit of an advantage to know what the grip level, what the track is like since then.
And folks,
28-17.
When Jeff and I go, ooh, or we see a car wiggle a little bit, unless you've been in one of them, you're running 200 miles an hour right around there. And when that car wiggles like that, you hope you can catch it. That's when your hands better be quick. But sometimes you aren't able to.
Sometimes the slightest bit of movement in the car that you see on camera or on TV is a huge moment inside the car, and that's what catches our breath.
Yep.
On your right, Ricky Stenhouse, his Ford painted in a pretty good approximation of the Ford GTs that won Le Mans. And on the left, Cole Witt, who had such a great outing at Martinsville on Sunday. Stenhouse will be the 6th car to take time. Top of the chart, 28:09. Michael McDowell going on the clock. Cole Witt, 6th of 6, 29:17. McDowell's team, Levine Family Racing, they're from Texas, the Levine family, so this race has a little extra importance, and he was fast, 2nd overall in practice this afternoon.
And Mike, we've got a good bit of shade down here in the turn 1 and 2 end of the turn 1, particularly the grandstands are shading turn 1 pretty good right now. So that's a good thing, because that's been the treacherous spot getting into that corner 1.
Well, and something else I noticed, DW, when I was out there before this shade came over the racetrack in turn 1, very hard to see the line between where the groove is and getting outside the groove, like we saw what happened to Kyle Busch in practice, where he got outside by about a foot going into turn 1 and spun out. Very difficult to see. So this shade will help that.
McDowell 5th, 28:26. Matt Kenseth in the 26th at 28:48. Here's Trevor Bayne, and Bayne had a couple of good runs in practice. He was 13th overall, but several times during the 2.5-hour session, he was fastest.
Fast lap here.
Looks like a pretty nice lap.
Bayne and Stenhouse,
Whoa,
top of the
go.
chart, 27:63.
That's faster than Carl Edwards qualified here a year ago.
Yes, sir. That's about 190, what, 3-4 miles an hour?
That's faster than last year's pole, yes.
That's pretty quick time right there.
Very
that
fast.
makes me wonder just how fast you can go around this joint. This guy right here was fast, too.
Matt DiBenedetto 9th, and Ryan Blaney was fastest of all in the practice session.
Yeah, but right now, if there aren't 24 cars or more on pit lane to qualify, I don't think it's worth putting up too much risk to try to go lay down that lap at this stage of qualifying. Wait till round 2, wait till round 3. So I think this is just a conservative, nice, clean lap for Ryan Blaney.
That's a great point. Now, Matt DiBenedetto ran 2 laps. His second lap was faster. And we did think we'd see some of this. Drivers going out, being a little tentative, and then going for it.
That's the thing I like about young guys. You've got 3 young guys at the top of our board right now. They really, all they know is when they go in that car and get behind the wheel, go as fast as you can.
Corey LaJoie.
Risk. They just don't think about taking a risk.
That's what I love about youth. When you have a youth movement like we have, they just throw caution to the wind and go for it. And yeah, sometimes they hit things. Sometimes they lose control. But boy, up until then, it sure is a lot of fun to watch.
I agree, man.
So LaJoie, 10th out of 12. He had a good run at Martinsville, punching above his weight. And David Reagan on the right side of the screen, 8th fastest, 28:29. Now Kevin Harvick and Jimmy Johnson.
Well, right now we have 1, 2, 3 Fords, and we have a Toyota, then we have 1, 2 Fords, and then we have a Chevrolet, and then we have 2 more Fords and a Toyota. So a lot of blue ovals in that top 10 right now.
Kevin Harvick's telemetry, upper right of your screen.
I really think Jimmy can lay down a fast lap. His car looked really fast in practice on a different occasion.
I think this is a big weekend for Jimmy Johnson. We've seen him struggle a little bit already this year. Not so much with speed. They've had decent speed at times as Jimmy goes to 4th on the board. But they've just not had things going well for them. Whoa, Jimmy, lose. He's going to lose it.
Where'd he go?
Can he save it?
And he got down on that apron getting, wow. Hold on, let go.
And he does. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So Johnson lays down the 4th fastest lap.
And that was after he already made, he made a lap, was 4th fastest. Was he going for a 2nd lap? That was really odd. I'm almost wondering, did he cut the engine clean? And
that's what I was.
Weird.
Yeah, it's something. I think he cut it clean. It's really no.
He got wide, got loose.
Got up in that gray. That foiled Austin Dillon's run because the caution came out.
So now my question is tires. What did this do to those tires?
Yeah. He's junk.
I would think they're flat spotted, but these tires are pretty hard and very durable for a new repaved racetrack. Very similar to what we saw from Kyle Busch earlier today.
Here's what Jimmy said.
Captain, it's fun. This track isn't the easiest to drive, in case you're wondering.
I love that.
What happened?
That's fun.
Hey guys, Jimmy Johnson's not happy that happened, Austin Dillon, but there's some cars still fighting to get through inspection that's glad to see this clock stop for a little bit.
Yeah, good point, Larry.
The clock has stopped at 9 minutes 25 seconds until the track reopens. Still under the red flag after Jimmy Johnson's spin. You'll see him go into turn 1, watch and listen. You'll see the car bobble. Jimmy has to chase it up the hill, and once he's into the gray, he's gone.
Boy, that is just so odd because we're hearing that he wasn't trying to make a 2nd lap. It sounds like he lifted off the throttle. I don't know if he pushed in the clutch and did a clean cut or what he did there, but just odd that he would drift wide like that and then get loose.
I think sometime when you've run your lap, you've got your lap, you go down in the corner, maybe you just lose focus just for a second. He got in there a little
Jimmy
high.
Johnson.
Yeah, but he got in there a little high. I think that was the whole point. I don't know that. I'm just saying, how else could he explain getting up there like that?
It's unexplainable.
2 drivers were on track at that time. Austin Dillon and Martin Truex both had to abort their runs due to the caution flag. Now, let's get with Matt and a driver who had a similar issue in practice today.
And that's Kyle Busch. Your car on its way back through again through inspection. The red flag will help a little bit, but certainly not enough.
Yeah, it was teamwork for the 2 behind me. Look, see?
88, Dale Jr. and 24, his teammates.
Yeah, teamwork. No, I don't know. I mean, there's an awful lot of cars back here still, and still some coming through, I think. Actually, there's another Hendrick car. So, all in all, just we'll see what we get. If we get out there, we get out there. If not, we don't. And we won't be the ones starting furthest back. I don't know how they're going to determine the order for all of us that don't qualify. Maybe Jeff and DW can enlist our listeners on all that.
Great effort, though, by your team to fix this race car.
Yeah, no doubt about that, for sure. You know, I didn't think it was terrible. They thought it was backup worthy, but I'm glad that they decided to go back at it and work on it a little bit here because the car did have a lot of speed. So hopefully we still have the speed in it and we can go out there and run hard, run fast, and, well, not run hard. Let's back that up. Run fast and run smooth and keep it under us for the rest of the weekend.
Well, my new broadcasting teammate back here, also, he forgot, though, to add the 42 of Kyle Larson is also back here in line as well, trying to go around again. Mike?
Not today.
Thanks, Matt.
Well, I know a lot of people maybe are seeing black helicopters that Jimmy Johnson would spin out with 3 of his teammates struggling to get through inspection, stopping the clock. But remember this, regardless of what happens throughout qualifying, that's the tires that 48 car has to start the race on. And we know from the history of this year already, if you change those tires, you know what happens. You go to the rear of the field. That's what they're doing right now, is they're looking to see if these tires are flat spotted.
Hey, Larry, I love my teammates. I'd do just about anything in the world for them, but I ain't going to spin out because in the process of spinning out, I might wreck my car and hurt myself.
And as you just saw right there, Chad Knaus calling it off. They feel like they're going to have to change tires, so that means they'll change tires, go to the back, and they will not make another lap here in qualifying.
So what will happen to Jimmy Johnson as the track reopens and the clock starts counting once again? He will make the top 24 with that 4th place run. So if he is unable to come on the track for the 2nd round, he would start. He would earn the 24th spot in the lineup. He'd have the 24th pick of pit position, but he would have to start the race in the rear
with the new
new tires.
Got it. And Mike, Kyle Busch challenged us right there. So you're an expert on these things. How will this field line up if they don't get on track? Is
My
it by owner
understanding
points?
is that the cars that do not make a qualifying attempt will line up due to car owner points. Vince.
Well, it's certainly been a weird day today for a lot of people involved. But Jimmy, what happened?
I mean, I think we used up all our luck in Homestead last year. I took the stripe and was, we were in a position to run 2 to start just to see what was going to happen. And Chad called me off when he saw the time. And when I heard that, I dumped the throttle real hard to try to check up and roll through the centers or through the corners slowly. And when I dumped out of the throttle, it pitched the car sideways, and I started chasing it going in the turn. And I thought I had it saved, and then I got in all those marbles and kept getting closer to the wall and spun. So we have 3 flat spotted tires, and unfortunately won't be able to continue on. Unfortunate is we've got a great car, and very happy to have Hitachi on the quarter panel taking it for a ride. And I was screaming Hitachi as I was getting close to that wall, I think. So glad the low Chevy still one piece. We'll just fight back from here.
Thanks, Jimmy.
All right, so Jimmy is 4th fastest. 25 cars are on the line now, so we will get to bumping to move on to round 2, it appears.
Well, all I can tell you is from that trip I had earlier, that section of the corner or the track is very flat. So you're carrying a lot of speed. It's very flat. It is possible if you dump out of the throttle for the back end of these cars to get really loose there. I guess that's what happened to Jimmy.
And I think it's kind of interesting. They widened that turn out. It's 80 feet wide now. It's 20 feet wider than it was. And there have been a couple of guys that have been thankful for that today, the 11 and the 48 for sure.
Now, Austin Dillon was slowest on his first lap. That may have been an exploratory lap for the number 3. Remember, he and Truex were on track starting their run when Jimmie Johnson spun and the red flag came out.
I wouldn't think with the tires that Goodyear's brought this weekend that having a little temperature in those tires would be a bad thing.
14th, moved up a little bit.
Yeah, so he's definitely moved up. He had a pretty big moment getting through that transition into turn 1, and you saw the car wiggle. So I think he pretty much aborted that lap, said, let me go for lap 2.
Yeah, Mike, that 25 or 27.56, it's 195 miles an hour.
Now, Jamie McMurray started a lap but did not complete it. So he'll have to make another run. Clint Boyer. Austin Dillon 15th on his second run. Clint Boyer 2nd fastest, 27.62 for the Haas Automation Ford. And here's A.J. Allmendinger, and the Dinger was fast in practice, 5th overall.
Boyer finally found a car that likes him. I'm so happy.
Man, I can't help but think there's been some strange things happening to that 48 team this year. That one's going to rank right up there at the top of them, I believe.
I jumped out of the throttle and spun out.
Pretty sure that's why Chad responded the way he did. What happened?
But Jimmy had the classic answer. This track's pretty hard to drive. I don't know if you know that or not.
Allmendinger 7th quickest. He will transfer. And here's the Tommy Baldwin, number 7, last seen at Daytona, running a limited schedule. J.J. Yaley aboard. And on the right is Martin Truex. 22 cars have taken time. So after these 2, bumping will begin. Nice run for Yaley, 18th.
5 minutes ago on the clock. Just see the 19 cars for it rolling out.
Well, you know, Brad Keselowski said he didn't think he was going to make it out, but he is rolling across the apron through 1 and 2 right here to take his lap.
All right, Truex 5th fastest. And Eric Almirola 20th has bumped Jeffrey Earnhardt out of the top 24. Greg Galding on the bubble now.
Looks like he's not satisfied with that. He's going to go for a 2nd lap.
Boy, I tell you, watch them go through 3 and 4. I mean, they look like a streak. They go through there so fast.
It is super fast. You're 3 and 4, and almost the opposite once you get to turn 1.
Then they about stop right there getting into turn 1. It's just so flat.
Almirola picks up on lap 2 to 16th.
Almirola had to check out his wrist. You know, he said he had to take the brace off. He had to kind of get the feel of that thing.
Fourth for Brad Keselowski. That will bump Greg Galding, and it'll move Cole Witt onto the bubble with a little less than 4 minutes to go.
I believe it's going to be a fast certainly session, but I think the next one will be even faster.
Oh, yeah.
Danica Patrick, 10th fastest. That bumps Cole Witt and moves Corey LaJoie onto the bubble. Inspection continues.
3.5 to go
for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and about 10 other cars. Here's Jamie McMurray for his second try.
Guys, I've been watching drivers as they've been leaving pit road, and to be able to start a lap at the end of this session, you need to be rolling and rolling hard somewhere between 35 and 40 seconds to go. And remember, these cars still going through inspection. The driver still has to have time to get in the car and get buckled in.
3 to go.
And Larry, that takes about 2.5 minutes. If you could do it faster than that, but I don't think I'd want to.
Jamie McMurray, 5th fastest. That bumps Corey LaJoie. Matt Kenseth on the bubble. His rookie teammate Daniel Suarez is going to try to bump him, and Kenseth is back out there, as is Cole Witt.
That's what I like about these 20-minute sessions. Okay, you got bumped, or you're in a bad spot. Go back out and give me a better lap. Okay, how many times, Jeff, have you said, if I could do it over again? If I could just run one, if I could go out and run a lap again, I think I could do a lot better.
And that's what we see a lot on new paved racetracks, is a lot of times the tire and track combination, you can get some heat in the tires, go back out a second or third time and make some improvements on what you did the first time.
So Suarez, 9th, bumped Kenseth. Kenseth now 8th. That bumps Yaley. DiBenedetto on the bubble.
We're coming to 2 to go here, 2 minutes to go, Bass.
So we'll switch our tracker. Cole Witt not fast enough on that lap. Corey LaJoie. And here comes Chris Buescher's car being rushed out, and Reed Sorensen driving out to pit road.
Mike, if Larry's calculation is right, you got about a minute.
Yep.
You got about 1 minute to get out there.
Corey LaJoie doing a nice job here through 1 and 2, now coming through 3 and 4. He's close to transferring through.
He's going to make it, at least for now. And LaJoie, 23rd, bumps DiBenedetto. Austin Dillon on the bubble now.
I think Dillon is going to go back out. He's got it. He can run better than that. That's 24th. That was a pretty fast car earlier today.
Minute and a half. Nice run for LaJoie. So it's Austin Dillon, 28-33. Kyle Busch clearing.
There's no chance.
No,
he's got a
minute to go here, and there's no way to get in the car and get out on the line.
One of many.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Casey Kane back there, Kyle Larson, all not going to get to qualify.
We're to 45 seconds to go, and you got to be rolling.
Reed Sorensen on the right, Ray Galding on the left.
As much as this sort of is disappointing to not get every car the opportunity to qualify, this is going to make the race really interesting and exciting to see those cars coming from the back up through the field.
Yeah, like we needed something else. I mean, this racetrack is creating a lot of interest in and of itself.
That's what those drivers are thinking as well.
I'm going to go back to the coach tonight, think about what Jimmy Johnson said.
30
track
seconds.
is pretty hard to drive, you know.
Paul Menard on track, and Austin Dillon are both going to try to bump in here. They will probably be the last cars
better hurry
to start that lap.
2, 1. Time is expired. Everybody can come back.
So 4 cars on track. They can all complete this lap. First is Austin Dillon.
This is really interesting. You got Paul Menard that's trying to knock out his teammate Austin Dillon. He's ahead of him right now.
Menard looks
Might
fast.
Come right down to the line.
He's getting a nice little draft off of the 3-car too.
He sure
he's
is.
catching
Getting a
Dillon.
little pull right there. I think Menard might do
Austin
it.
did not pick up.
Menard 12th is in. Dillon is out. LaJoie is on the bubble.
Boy, Austin Dillon, they missed the setup big time on that. He just came off the track in Xfinity practice, so he's got a great feel for the track right now, but did not have the speed in the car.
He was 7th quick in practice. I mean, that's a big disappointment.
Kevin Harvick, fastest in round 1 of knockout qualifying. Baseball, a walk-off is a game-winning home run, but on qualifying day, a walk-off means you didn't get through inspection and you did not get to qualify. 9 drivers in all did not get to post a qualifying lap. Matt.
3 of the 4 Hendrick cars, Mike, did not get a chance to post a lap, including Dale Earnhardt Jr. I know you're frustrated, you're disappointed. Not really sure yet why you failed, but I know the disappointment, you're going to be in the back.
I ain't too worried about it. It's the races are pretty long. The pit selection bothers you a little bit because we won't be able to get out there and get a better better pit stall. But we'll see where we end up on pit road. I don't know what was wrong with our car going through tech, but if you don't make it, you don't get out there, and I like that. I like the rules being the same for everybody. So we'll just we'll work on our car for tomorrow in practice. I'm anxious to get more track time. Certainly the track's going to be changing so freaking much. We didn't really get a chance to see where it was going today, and I know the Xfinity cars ran a lot this afternoon, so the track's really changed a lot. So I'm anxious to get back out there and get some laps and see what we got for a race car on Sunday.
Mike?
Thank you, Matt. Dale Jr. will start 37th based on his point standing position. So from 25 through 31, those are the drivers that took time, and they have earned those positions. The rest of the field, 40 cars strong, will be set by car owner points coming into Texas. There's the rest of the field.
I'm just going to give my opinion on this, and I think there's a big power struggle going on right now between NASCAR trying to make these teams all be on equal terms as they come through there, and the teams pushing the limits so far that they take the risk to not even get out on track to qualify.
Next, 24 cars will run in round 2 of 3. Getting ready for round 2 of knockout qualifying. Here's today's Can-Am driver profile. Have a look at Clint Bowyer's finishes in his last 4 races since moving to Stewart-Haas, taking over Tony Stewart's number 14. 10th, 13th, 3rd, and 7th.
Pretty strong.
Strong in practice and second fastest in round 1 of today's qualifying for that Ford.
Yes, sir. 4 car up there, the fastest. His teammate 14 right there with him. Yep. Trevor Bayne, Keselowski, McMurray.
When I look at this time and scoring, I go back to the first laps we saw on track today where cars were struggling to make a 32-second lap time around this track, and now look at Kevin Harvick, 27.56. I mean, over 4 seconds that they've picked up throughout the day today.
So these 24 will advance to round number 2. We know Jimmy Johnson, even though he's 9th fastest, has 3 flat spotted tires, will probably not make a run. Absolutely not make a run. That car's gone.
No,
They've gone to the garage. He's gone. So that means Johnson will start 24th on Sunday. 30 seconds, and we'll begin round 2 in a day of surprises.
Now, there's my question. If you have to put new tires on, do you start ahead or behind those that didn't qualify?
I'll get back to you on that. I'll let you know about that.
Now that's the question of the day.
Oh gosh.
We'll find that. We'll know by Sunday. .24 cars and a spread of about 3/4 of a second top to bottom among these 24 in round 1. Most drivers ran 1 lap. McMurray 2, Kenseth 3. Almirola 2, David Reagan 3, and Corey LaJoie 4. Everybody else has just 1 lap on their tires.
I can't wait to see what this guy right here, Ryan Blaney, what he does. He was fast in practice. I think that was a conservative lap he put up in round 1. I look to see him really push it hard here and show us exactly how much speed is in that car and in this racetrack.
4 Fords in the top 5 of round 1.
I think that 4 car's got a little bit left in it too. Kevin Harvick. That's pretty quick lap he put up.
Yeah, that was very quick. We talked about maybe a 27.50. I think they're going to get down maybe even to 30 or 40.
Yeah, it's 56 there. I think we got a 40 in us.
Yeah, we're already faster than Carl Edwards' pole speed last year.
With all the changes, repaved track, different tires, different aero package, different.
27.45 for Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, you're talking.
Denny Hamlin, 27.82.
Well, I don't believe that we'll ever get to a 26.98, but I'm not going to say that's not possible. But I don't believe we will. That's 200 miles an hour.
You take banking out of turns 1 and 2, less downforce, less power, hard tire, no way they're going to get down to that.
Kurt Busch 2nd, Michael McDowell 4th.
Even with the repave.
Let's ride along with Brad.
But Brad's got a nice, ooh, he lost the nose right there. That's what you typically see when rubber gets laid down the track and the grip picks up, like we heard from Kyle Larson saying how fast the track was at the end. You lose the front end of the car and the grip just goes away. You just can't quite get the front to turn.
Well, I swear
but it's still going to be a lap. I think it's going to put number one. Yeah.
Yes. 27:42.
Yes, sir.
Imagine if he gets that car to turn through 1 and 2 for that next round.
If they could run through 1 and 2 like they do 3 and 4, we'd run 220 miles an hour.
Joey Logano trying to be faster yet. It's going to be close.
Be right there.
Not quite. Second for Logano.
Well, Keselowski really flew through turns 3 and 4.
It's amazing just how, I mean, I know we're looking at that turn.
Harvick shutting it down.
Whoa now. What's that all about?
Well, you know, he was in the green going into turn 1. Then he started to see him lose a lot of time. I'm just wondering if maybe he carried a little bit too much speed, too much throttle, or lost the nose through the center of 1 and 2.
Trevor Bayne finishes up his run.
You just don't have a whole lot of time here to come in and do much. I mean, we're down to 7 minutes.
Fifth for Bayne.
He's coasting in.
Ty Dillon out there. Logano and Blaney ran identical laps to the 1,000.
Look at that. 4.59.
So you resolve that on point standings, so that'll move Logano ahead of Blaney. Doesn't matter. As long as you transfer, that's what matters.
But just think about this, Mike. I mean, Keselowski's up there at a 27.42, and we heard him down here in turns 1 and 2 playing with it. He could never get it wide open. But man, they make up so much time in 3 and 4.
That's it. In turn 3, he was back to the gas before he was even all the way into turn 3.
Yeah, the banking and transitions and grip level down there, if you hit it right, cars can carry a lot of speed, a lot of throttle. This is what we're going to, this is going to create opportunities throughout this race as well as here in qualifying of how you can enter into turn 1 and how you can get back to the throttle off of turn 2.
Allmendinger pedaling hard. Ty Dillon 5th, Allmendinger 7th. Newman 10th. Matt Kenseth.
Boy, Matt's been quiet all day. You know, that's the way of Matt Kenseth. He just really puts his effort into when it counts, when it matters most. And right now, it's on the line, and he's showing up now.
He just kind of lulls you to sleep. It's way. I mean, this is a perfect race for him. 500 miles. You know, we may mention him a couple of times until we get down about halfway.
4th for Kenseth. He's the fastest Toyota so far. Here comes Boyer. Is he going to knock Keselowski off the top?
Yes, he is.
He did. 27-37.
Now we're down in the 30s. Wow. Well, he got a little ways to go. 26.98 is not that far away.
You know,
we thought the track would pick up speed as we went deeper into this qualifying, and it has.
A lot of shade, Mike. All the front, most of turn 1, and all the way around the middle of turns 1 and 2 down there. A lot of shade.
And I think that's one of the problems, ODW, is that shade. That it's enticing the drivers that there's more grip than there really is. You can carry more speed. They're trying to get in there and carry speed. I think those that are doing well are actually the ones that are a little more patient getting in turn 1 and getting to the bottom, getting back to the throttle early.
Yeah, I was just shocked when we listened to the throttle on the Keselowski. I said, well, he's struggling. He struggled right to the top.
Jamie McMurray finishing up his run. Danica Patrick starting hers. Ooh, a lot of sparks from McMurray as he came through that section right at the end of the restart zone. And McMurray is 6th.
These teams are being really aggressive with the setups. Track is very smooth, but there are some areas where they're going to bottom out. And we found one of those areas is right there before you get to the start-finish line.
Yeah, we don't see those sparks in the daylight much. You know, when the sun starts going down, get a little shade, you start seeing a few sparks here and there.
So Danica was on the bubble. She is bumped by Martin Truex, who is 5th. And Denny Hamlin to the bubble now. So Patrick will take 2. And is about 5/100 slower than in round 1.
Suarez.
And then Suarez, Corey LaJoie. So 12th now, Denny Hamlin at a 27.89.
Suarez drifting up there.
A little high
bit.
off 2 right there. Yeah, that probably.
It tightens up in the center 1 and 2. You get down in there and you think that you can get back to the throttle, but the track really gets tight there. You got to get it back down to the bottom, and you saw right there, he sort of just stayed up.
LaJoie 16th, and Suarez now 16th,
Yeah.
LaJoie 17th.
Yeah, getting up high off turn 2 over there really hurt Suarez's lap. He got through 3 and 4 pretty well, but not so much 1 and 2.
Landon Castle 9th quick, and that may transfer. 27.73. Nice run.
Great lap.
That will bump Denny Hamlin. So Allmendinger is on the bubble.
Suarez trying another one here, guys.
Yeah,
See what he
I'm
can
sure they
do.
told him on the radio that lap wasn't going to get it done.
Suarez is faster but does not move up the board. So let's flip our tracker to compare to 12th place, the bubble spot, which right now is Allmendinger, as Menard and McDowell are out for a run.
Yeah, Menard got wide going into turn 1. He just missed the bottom, or the car slid up. Lost too much speed. He knew it wasn't worth it.
Right now we got 2 Toyotas in the top 12, Mike. 78 and 20, 5th and 6th. There. A lot of blue ovals in that top 12.
Denny Hamlin going back out as you ride with Eric Almirola on the left.
McDowell into the top 12.
Yes, 8th for McDowell. That bumps Allmendinger.
Nothing like a home game, right?
No.
Trevor Bayne on the hot seat. And Almirola 16th. Not enough.
Wonder if McDowell ever crosses his mind going into turn 1. If he,
Boy, it would cross my mind every time I went into turn 1. That one's hard to forget.
Oh my gosh, I've seen it a million times.
But it's also great to see a great result like we're seeing right now. Him getting, looks like a pretty good chance he's going to make it into this top 12 into round 3 if he stays there.
So this is David Reagan's first run, Ryan Newman's second. Almirola runs another lap, moves up to 15th. So still Trevor Bayne on the bubble.
Harvick back out, guys, in the 4 car.
Yeah, a lot of green there.
Yep. Newman 7th. That bumps Bayne. Ty Dillon on the bubble now.
Much better lap out of Harvick.
Here comes Harv. Looks pretty good.
First lap for Harvick.
Top of the board, 27:30. What?
That bumps Ty Dillon. And Ricky Stenhouse has bumped Landon Castle.
What was that first thing that, when he went out there in round 2, it didn't go quite like that.
I think he just put a little heat in everything, brought in, let it cool a little bit, and then went out.
I spoke too soon on McDowell. He's already down to 11th.
Kurt Busch is on the bubble. 20 seconds until time expires.
We got to be up around 198 miles an hour now, don't we? With that 30, 27:30.
3 drivers in the green. And Ty Dillon bumps Kurt Busch. Ty Dillon back to the bubble.
Mike.
197.7.
197, guys.
Now Dillon's out and McDowell is on the bubble. Trevor Bayne bumped back in. Allmendinger. Not enough. 16th.
See what the 27 car's got here. He's coming across.
Yeah, it looks like McDowell's just going to miss out.
Menard 21st. And of course, 24th place, Jimmy Johnson did not run a lap. So Trevor Bayne makes it. Michael McDowell misses it by 3/100ths of a second.
Hey, Mike, I want to give a credit to Tony Gibson and that 41 crew. He was 9th with less than a minute to go. They saw what was going on with this racetrack, and they rolled him. He got bumped out as he was starting his lap and ended up 8th. So big heads up by Tony and that crew.
Great strategy move to get him out there to go. So Kevin Harvick, fastest.
Again.
Round 2. Since we began knockout qualifying in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series, 6 times one driver has swept all 3 rounds of qualifying, and twice that driver, excuse me, not 6 times, 4 times, and twice that driver was Kevin Harvick, who has swept the first 2 rounds today.
Something looking very familiar then.
Yes. Vince.
Michael McDowell, the first one out, just missed making it to the final round, but you guys are second in practice today. Good qualifying effort. How do you assess the day for this small team?
It's a really great effort. Everybody at Levine Family Racing did a great job bringing a fast Chevy. We're a little disappointed, obviously, really fast in practice. Just missed it there. Track changed a little bit, obviously, a couple of practice sessions for Xfinity, but really proud of everybody at WRL and thankful for my 95 guys. They brought a really fast hot rod.
Mike?
Thanks, Fitz. He did not miss it by much. Michael McDowell will line up 13th for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 here on Sunday, next to Ty Dillon, Brandon Castle, and A.J. Allmendinger, Hamlin, Almirola, Patrick Suarez, Reagan Menard, LaJoie, and Jimmy Johnson, who did not run round 2. He had 3 flat-spotted tires. 12 drivers will move on to run for the Coors Light pole next. Well, could the full moon have something to do with it? Might as well blame it on that. 9 drivers did not get to qualify because their cars did not make it through inspection in time, so they will start at the back of the pack. At the front of the pack will be these 12 drivers who advance to the final round. 8 Fords, 2 Chevys, 2 Toyotas to run for the pole. 27:30 the top time. Track record 26:98. Not saying it's in jeopardy, but not ruling it out either.
No, but look at those 3rd, 4th, and 5th. You got Keselowski, Logano, and Blaney. Those are basically teammates.
I will say this, DW, Mike, the sun is going down. Shade is coming to this racetrack. I would think that would help pick up the times just a little bit more. I don't know if we're going to get all the way there, but we're going to get a little closer.
Looks like we're going to be about half a second faster than last year's pole, and that is huge.
Well,
less banking in turns 1 and 2, but a shorter distance around with that new low groove.
That's a good point, Mike. We typically think a new repave, of course it's going to be a lot faster, but you have to understand, you know, this is a repave with a big change in 1 and 2 where they've lowered the banking. So we would think that with less downforce, a pretty hard tire, even though the grip's there in the groove, and that banking in 1 and 2, it is going to slow down the cars. But that shorter distance, by the way that banking's turned out, it's brought the track in and the bottom groove closer to the infield. Wow. 206 miles per hour for Matt Kenseth going into turn 1.
And Jeff,
I think he carried too much speed. I got to be honest.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to abandon this lap. He's going to come in and make another one.
He got it in there. That's the best I've seen anybody get in the corner, but he didn't make it.
He found the limit.
He did. You're going to come in and think about that.
Well, that'll make things interesting.
Have we seen anything near 206 in the turn 1?
I mean, that's incredible speed. That tells you how fast they're going through turns 3 and 4. To come into turn 1 with that kind of speed.
Well, here's the rocket. He'll hold it down.
That's right.
Ryan Newman.
He likes to rock it.
206 as well.
And
he got it slowed down and to the bottom.
I think that's conditions part of that too, because now that's all in shade down there. There's some grip down there he hadn't had all day, and these guys are going for it in this last session.
199 into turn 3. Newman's last pole, 2013 New Hampshire, 122 races ago. Here's the time to beat. 27.618.
Yep. Well, he was known as the Rocket Man for a long time, because I think he was winning a pole about every other time he went on the track.
And that's his fastest lap of the 3 rounds.
Ooh, he can't quite pick up the throttle, but we saw that out of him before, and it didn't seem to slow him down too much.
That was better than the last session, I believe. I mean, was in the throttle a little quicker and not letting up as much.
And he really gets through 3 and 4 good.
Whoa, he got a little high, but he's going to come.
I'm not sure he got all the way out of it.
Look at that
Keselowski.
What did he do?
27.33. His fastest lap of the day. Joey Logano, green light.
Track's cool
and
way
this
down.
Time he got off at turn 4 a little bit better than the last time. To the
fastest, top. 27.30 for Logano. And that's a 10th and a half faster than round 2.
Things are heating up here in Texas. I love it.
Here goes Harvick. I mean, he looked like he got down into turn 1 better than anybody I've seen all day.
He really got through 1 and 2.
I'm telling you.
Can he complete it through 3 and 4?
Stenhouse
Listen to
fourth.
that.
Oh, he nailed it.
Digging,
He nailed it.
baby.
You see that?
Digging.
He eased out of it, got back to the throttle really early.
Oh, yeah.
27-21. Kevin Harvick.
And right behind him, Ryan Blaney's got a great lap as well.
Blaney second. So Harvick almost a tenth faster than round 2.
So how many 900 miles an hour is that?
I'll be honest, DW, I never thought, and I see Kurt Busch got a little bit wide right there. Might cost him a little bit of time. I never dreamed we'd get this close to the track record here today.
198. That 21 is 198 miles an hour, just a little bit off of that 200 that Tony Stewart did. And I never thought we'd see that again.
Harvick 198.4. Kurt Busch is 7th, 27.80.
Yeah, he lost a lot of time, had to get out of the gas when he got a little bit wide through 1 and 2. We see the sparks off of McMurray as he comes through that bump prior to the start-finish line.
Tell you what, if I went around there at 27-21, I'd say, don't tell me I got to go back out.
Now here's
Boyer, third. He and Blaney have identical times.
I really thought he had a shot at that pole. He's close with third.
We'll have to sort the points out there. Now here's Kenseth making another run. Kurt Busch 8th.
I don't think Kurt's going to have enough time to get back out there, is he? But Martin Truex Jr.
He's coming off
finishing
here.
his lap.
Here he comes. See what he's got.
7th for Truex.
Those old motors are just digging.
2, 1. Time has expired. Everybody can come back.
Yeah, but Keselowski's still on the track. And putting a good lap together. Oh, he lost a little bit off of turn 2.
He struggles off turn 2 almost every run he's made.
I just don't know if he can make up 2 tenths through 3 and 4. He's good down here. I don't know if he's that
sailed
good.
He sailed it, and he's getting off there. This thing looks fast.
I just love his effort. I love the fact he wanted to go back out there and have another shot at it.
Yeah.
Kevin Harvick completes the sweep for the 3rd time and earns his 19th pole in the NASCAR Cup Series. He won the pole at Atlanta earlier this year, and he's the first repeat pole winner of 2017. When practice started this afternoon, they were running around here 4.5 seconds slower than what turned out to be Kevin Harvick's pole-winning lap at 198.4 miles per hour. Matt.
6 shooters is what he's shooting for on Sunday. He'll get a shotgun today, but how important was that mulligan in round 2?
Well, I just didn't feel like I got through turns 1 and 2 like I needed to. The front took off, and I didn't want to do what everybody was doing in practice and get out of the groove and drive it into the wall. So just really proud of everybody on our Jimmy John's Busch Ford. Got to thank everybody from Mobile, Outback, Hunt Brothers, Textron Off-Road, Morton Buildings for sticking behind us with this Ford. So it's been a stressful day. I mean, coming and breaking in a new racetrack and then going out there and running as fast as we had to run for qualifying. I got to say thank you to the Xfinity guys for letting me run that car this weekend, because I really feel like the reps allowed us to learn some things in that car that I was able to apply here. So it's been an interesting day, and I'm looking forward to trying to get our car right for the race and trying to get to victory lane on Sunday so Eddie Gossage will leave me alone.
Shades of Atlanta, where he ran the Xfinity car, helped him win the pole there. Same thing here today at Texas. Vince.
Well, and starting alongside Kevin Harvick will be Ryan Blaney, his 2nd front row start of the season. It was close. Anything you left out there? I mean, if you could do it over again, was there a place maybe you could have got a little better?
Yeah, I thought 3 and 4 we got a little tight over there, and I should have raised the track bar a little bit down the back, but we got better each round, which was, it's always encouraging. That's always what you want. You never want to get worse or make the wrong adjustments, and I feel like this year we've gotten a lot better going round to round, so that's really something to hold our heads high about. But man, I heard they give you a shotgun when you win the pole here, and I saw my lap and I was like, that might do it. That was a pretty good lap, and Kevin just sneaked by us. But I think we have a really fast Motorcraft Quick Lane Ford Fusion. It was even pretty good at race trim today. So the track's come a long way in a span of a few hours for us. Hopefully it'll widen out even more for the Xfinity race tomorrow and for our practices. But overall, not a bad start to the weekend.
Yeah, 21 keeps doing a great job, guys. Ryan Blaney, he'll start 2nd on Sunday.
Where Kevin Harvick picked up 3.5 tenths from round 1 to round 3. Blaney picked up a full half a second. How about that? 5 Fords will lead the field to green here on Sunday. Harvick, Blaney, Boyer, Logano, Keselowski. Yeah, they're smiling over in the Blue Oval camp. Matt?
Great run by Clint Boyer. And the first thing you asked me was, do they still give out shotguns?
I know! That butthead's up there getting a shotgun, smiling. I'm smiling too. That's a good day for all of us at Stewart-Haas. Appreciate Ford, giving us the horsepower. This is a horsepower racetrack still. And then downforce is king. Hats off to the guys in the aero department, Fab Shop. All those guys work so hard, to get back from that West Coast swing and to get back to work and come to this racetrack. It's a repave. It's going to be slick. Aero is going to be a premium, and they showed up with 4 fast hot rods for us. So thanks to Haas and everybody at Ford again for giving me the opportunity. We're going to go over here and watch Tony tonight.
Okay, there you
Look
go.
at him. There. Yep.
Look at that piece.
You think he even...
You think he knows how to use it?
Man, that's a major bummer right there. Look how much fun he's having. And I'm stuck here with you.
Well, you know what? You drew the short straw. That's all you can do.
No, tell me he's just got to be on the pole.
Everybody wanted that shotgun, that's for sure. Matt Kenseth ended up 8th. It's amazing how far we came from the beginning of practice to the speeds we saw in qualifying. What more should we expect in the way of change with this track before the race on Sunday?
Yeah, it was pretty fast, but first of all, I want to say it's hard to follow up an interview with Clint, right? I mean, how do you follow that up? Yeah, I mean, we qualified okay. We really didn't get a chance to do a mock run today, but the track picked up a lot of speed. Hopefully 1 and 2 will widen out a little bit. I don't think it will, but I hope it does. But the track position is going to be important, and certainly there's a lot of speed out there.
Thanks, Matt. Well done. Matt Kenseth, 8th today.
Thanks, Vince. Kevin Harvick gets to celebrate. He's our pole winner. More from Texas after this. Here's a quick look at Kevin Harvick's pole winning lap.
I just love listening to that.
Engine is unbelievable.
I was so impressed with his patience into turn 1. He was out of the throttle a long time, really making sure to get down to that white line and back to the throttle hard, carry all that speed off of turn 2. To me, that's where Kevin Harvick won the pole.
He hammered it. Well, when he got back in 1, he hammered it.
Going to be an interesting start with all those 9 cars in the back that did not get through inspection and take time. There's some fast ones back there. So we'll have practice for you tomorrow. There's an Xfinity race tomorrow here on Fox. And we'll see you Sunday for the O'Reilly 500. Kevin Harvick wins the pole.